Good day, guys and girls. So perhaps you are in the same dilemma that I am. You're in the midst of installing and designing an IKEA kitchen, and you've got this great spot in the corner that you'd love to put a corner sink into, but IKEA doesn't make one. They make a corner cabinet that looks like this, but that doesn't work for what you want. As far as I can tell, no one else on YouTube has done this. So stick around, we'll show you how it's done. So this is the corner cabinet in the other corner of my kitchen. We've got cabinets that are above. There's no way that we're going to be putting a sink in this corner, but we needed something to fill that corner and to return. So that's why we've got this one here. But what we're going to show you is how to modify this very cabinet so that it turns into a corner cabinet, either for a sink, for countertop space, for decoration, for appeal, whatever it might be. Like I said, IKEA does not produce a corner cabinet for a sink. For whatever reason, they seem to make literally everything else, but they don't make a corner cabinet. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify this cabinet here so that it will accept a corner sink. If this is the piece of wood that we're trying to add, just so you can kind of see what we're trying to do, basically we're trying to cut across this corner with a piece of wood so that it'll accept a door on the angle. We will fill in that bottom piece right here, and it'll be very, very minimal in cuts and legwork in order to make this happen, so stick around. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this cabinet together the way that IKEA says, but we're going to do some important modifications on that. First one being removing this piece here. Second of all, removing the majority of this piece. We're going to leave in this back section here so that this cabinet here has somewhere to attach back here. We're going to take this piece right here that we have salvaged. We're going to cut it so that it fits across this section, and then across the bottom there, we're simply going to take the bottom. We're simply going to take a piece of cabinet shelving, and we're going to make it fit. We're going to add an 18-inch door onto the front, and we're going to get this thing rocking. So stick around, we're going to show you exactly how to do it. Hey guys and girls, so you've got everything laid out to build your IKEA Sektion upper cabinets, lower cabinets, and one thing that other YouTubers aren't telling you is organization. Take one of these containers. This happens to be a container for Valentine's candy. Take out your bag of stuff. Take out these two. Take out your nails. Take out your hangers. Put the rest of them in a bucket. Use them later. Take your bag. And just start organizing everything. This is something that no other YouTuber is covering, so that's why we're covering it here. Take your other fasteners that you're not going to use right now in the container. And it's just that easy. So before proceeding to instruction number 23 in the IKEA instructions, I just wanted to show you what we did, just so that's maybe a little bit more clear. So we've got this piece right here, which was cut from this top rail. This top rail is the same top rail that is on this one right here. So we've cut it and we've left in a little chunk at the back. And the reason why we've done that is so that we have something to actually fasten the top of these cabinets to. Now we've got a pin and a dowel that we can actually fasten this piece to, tighten everything up. It's nice and tight. So it's 3¼ inches. If you don't want any tear out on the back side, flip it over. The tear out will be on that side. If you're using a miter saw, you can use a skill saw, you can use a hand saw. You really use any kind of saw possible to do this. It's not fine trim work that you're gonna see. So I just wanted to show that before we went further. You can see that we did not put in the pins over here because we're not gonna have a piece there. And we did the same thing on the other piece that is gonna slide into this here. Again, IKEA instruction number 23 is where we're at. Okay, so before we move on to IKEA instructions number 28, I'd like to fill in this panel here. And the reason why I'd like to do that is because I'd like to fasten from the bottom side so that you don't see any of those fasteners, so that it looks as clean and it's as flat as it can be. Now, as you can see here, I ordered, this is the Utrusta 24 by 14¾ shelf. The minimum size that you need for across there is 21 inches. And basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hold this shelf up. We're gonna scribe it, which is not cheating, by the way. And we're gonna go ahead and cut that out. So if you don't have a extra set of hands, I should say, of course you got a set of hands. If you don't have an extra set of hands and you want it clamped in place so that you can outline it, just grab some of these quick clamps. You can just do the dimensions manually and do this. I find if you do it this way, there's no errors. You're tracing exactly what's there. If something was just slightly out of square, we're gonna catch it here by doing this. It's not cheating, I promise. And that's it. Make sure when you're marking this that you're cutting to this inside corner right here. You don't want to be cutting to the outside face of this cabinet. The door is going to want to sit inside of there. So you want to be to that inside face right there. Hey guys and girls, so we've got our piece cut and we're ready to install. Now the only difference, or the only thing that I did that is kind of just a suggestion here, but highly recommended, is painting this raw edge, because it's particle board. If there's any water underneath that sink and it gets into here, it's just going to end up ballooning up and it's going to damage the product. So I've put on 2 coats of just a semi-gloss paint. It can be a gloss paint, it can be a flat paint, it can be any kind of paint. Semi-gloss I would probably suggest as a minimum. Gloss would have probably been even better because it will give more protection. You can use latex, you can use oil-based, it doesn't matter. Just something on there. You could use spray paint, you know, just as long as everything's protected when you do it. That way we've got lots of protection. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this into place. We're gonna slide it in nice and tight. As you can see, there's just a hair of a gap in there, but that's okay. Because what we're going to probably do after is we're going to follow up with some caulking to make it even better and even more protected. To fasten this, these are called mending plates or mending braces. They come in various different sizes. This one happened to come in a pack that had all the screws with it too. It was a 4-pack. You don't have to use this size. You don't have to use this exact style. Just anything to actually go onto here and actually brace this panel so that it doesn't fall through. And the reason why we're doing it on the back side is so that you're not going to see anything on the top side. So it gives that nice clean appearance, like it was actually designed by IKEA for this purpose. Now, the toe kick is approximately 3.5 inches back. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one in here, and then make sure that whatever braces we put on the back side, they're actually behind where the toe kick's going to be. So we're going to get that done, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the braces have been installed. You can see that I've drawn a line where approximately the toe kick's going to go. I left these back just a hair so that your sight line, you're not going to see these. I was really hoping to find them in white. Fortunately, I couldn't. You might be able to find them in your area. Unfortunately, I couldn't in mine. But again, just left them back so you can't see it as much. Make sure that this corner is supported properly. They do make corner brackets for this too. Again, there's all kinds of different styles. There's corner braces, there's T-braces, there's flat braces, all kinds of different styles and sizes out there. So just pick something that works for your situation. This is nice and solid. It's going nowhere. And we're ready to put the legs on this, flip it over, install it, and we'll see you on the next part. Hey guys and girls, so just a quick tip or trick here. So if you're having troubles getting these larger corner units in, or even the upper corner units just because of the weight, don't have enough hands, don't have enough help, whatever it might be, just a real quick tip that'll help you out. Put these cabinets in without the hardware on the back. Done. Ikea sends all kinds of packing with these cabinets, so prop it up on the one end to the correct height. You can build yourself a prop with a 2x4 on the flat or 2x4 on the upright. That way you can get everything centered in place. If you've got pipes to cut around like this one, it can make it very difficult to get everything in place and centered up. This takes out some of that. As you can see, we've got all 3 plates installed. It's hung on the wall now. Less effort, less strain. Get everything squared up the way that it should be. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, so we're ready for the next step in this process, which is cutting this top piece to fit. Now, the easiest thing to do, line everything up, make sure that you're right on this edge here. Take a pencil, scribe from underneath. That way you know it's 100%. If there was any irregularities in the cabinet, it's going to trace that exact angle, because chances are it's not a perfect 45-degree angle. It's probably somewhere close to there, but this way it's exact. If you don't want to do it that way, you want to do it the old-fashioned way, 19 inches across on your short edge, and that'll give you the perfect cut. Okay, so now you can see that we've got the top support secured. I like to use pocket hole screws. I believe it just kind of gives it a better hold on it. There's less chances that the particle board is actually going to splinter or get damaged. And as you can see, you get more points of contact. You can put more fasteners in there without damaging anything. If you don't have pocket hole screw jig, you can always screw through the back of the cabinet, and in this case through both panels into the side. Does the same exact thing. It's just after the fact you won't see these fasteners, and it's just a cleaner, better fastening product in my opinion. So the next thing we need to do is we need to actually fill in the sides of the cabinet to make up that gap, because it's slightly wider than the 18-inch door that we've got. So what I've done is I've taken, these were just some offcuts from my fridge panels, and all I did was I just ripped a section out of it, left this nice finished edge on there. We've got the finished edge here as well, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to put this down so that if water gets underneath here for whatever reason, at least it's protected a little bit. We've used pocket holes. The reason why I've done this is because, first of all, I have the technology and the capability of doing pocket holes, but second of all is the countertops are in now, the clearances underneath the sink are very tight, so I just don't have the ability to actually screw, you know, down from the top and screw up from underneath. That's just me saying like 2 screw holes. Don't read into that. I just don't have the ability, and I do like pocket holes. Problem is that these are going to be exposed. They do make filler pieces for this, so we could fill it if we want. Again, it's the inside of a cabinet, so you know, who really cares, I guess. So basically we're going to mount these in there. We're going to cut our holes for the door, and we're going to mount everything up. Easy peasy. You don't need a table saw, you don't need miter saw, you don't need fancy tools for this. You can even use a skill saw if you want. Set yourself up a guide. You can rip this, no problem. You can make your cut, no problem. You don't need fancy tools for this. I'm trying to make this as easy as I can for the layperson, for the beginner DIYer to get this done. That's the whole point of this, is that we're gonna hack this cabinet with minimal tools, minimal time, minimal know-how, little bit of education. So Atticus would like to make an appearance and do his final inspection on this project here. So as you can see, we've installed the 2 pieces of wood, or the rails, on the side. We have actually drilled all of our hardware in, nice and clean. Just measure twice, cut once, remember that. So we installed a second rail on this side because the door was not sealing. There was actually a gap here, so we added that second rail. If you want everything to be equally spaced in there, you'll have to install 2 rails on each side so that this door and the gap is perfect. But what I'm finding is when we open up the dishwasher door and we kind of close it, it doesn't seal unless you push it in and lock it. So it's always sitting out at this other position here. So if you were to push this door center, what might actually happen is it would hit the dishwasher. So every situation is going to be a little bit different, so you have to play around with that. If you want everything to be perfectly centered, install 2 pieces of wood on each side. If you have a situation like this, you can just install 1 and everything will be good. You'll have your clearances to whatever happens to be beside it. So here is the finished product. As you can see, we've got windows that are above. It would have been totally wasted space if we just turned this into countertop over here. It's a shame that Ikea doesn't make a corner cabinet in the section line of cabinets, but as you can see, it was pretty easy with some simple tools and a little bit of know-how to make this work. And now we've got a very useful kitchen space and very useful or very good use of the corner now with this sink. Everything operates perfectly. No issues whatsoever. Slow close hinges, just outstanding. I hope you guys and girls found this video informative. Again, we don't do a lot of videos like this where we're assembling IKEA kitchens or IKEA furniture, but again, I saw that there was a need for this, that there was no videos on the internet on how to actually make a corner cabinet. And if you went with custom cabinetry, you know, this is just par for the course. Like, it's easy enough to do, but for whatever reason, IKEA just wants to have straight cabinets. So it's easy enough to make this corner cabinet work. We will be posting a video on how to install the IKEA deco strip. So stay tuned for that one. Atticus would like to say hi. He wants to play fetch. So stay tuned for that one. If you're looking for more IKEA content, that'll do it for our IKEA content on this channel, I think. Again, I can't see any videos up there where they're installing the Eco Ping or Echo Ping deco strip, as they call it. So stay tuned for that one. If you're new to the channel, hope you enjoyed the video. We don't have a lot of flashy content or a lot of cutaways and like cool stuff. You know, there might be an odd joke here and there, but I feel like the information is more important than the quality of the video. So if you guys and girls think that too, think about liking the video, think about subscribing. I'm posting stuff all the time about house maintenance, yard maintenance, property maintenance, things that would help the common person. Because I firmly believe that with a little bit of information, maybe a special tool or two, sometimes even just tools you've got around the house, you can do more than you could possibly think. Because you never know unless you bear. We'll see you on the next video.